This is the scary truth behind Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig was diagnosed with cancer at just 2 years old and spent most of her early life in bed. She needed constant assistance and 24-hour supervision from her parents just to keep her alive. Peppa was an embarrassment and a burden to the whole family. One day, her dad had enough and got a horrible idea. He decided to chain Peppa to her bed so she could never leave her room again. Years later, her parents had another child in which they named Peppa. This Peppa replaced the original Peppa, who is still locked inside her room. And if you Google Peppa Pig house wallpaper, something terrifying comes up. At first glance, you can't see it, but if you zoom in, you can see the original Peppa still locked inside her room.
This is some weird scurry shit.
Oh, hell no, you guys have to see this. What the heck is that? That looks... Oh, hell no.
People reacting to death sentences, part 9. This one's not that much of a freak out, but I think it's really interesting because this video is about Nicholas Cruz. Nicholas Cruz is a confessed school shooter, and you're about to watch as he bows his head the entire time he's given his sentence. If you guys like these videos and want to see more, be sure to like and follow.
Judge Elizabeth Shearer began to read the charges against Cruz.
You've been charged by indictment in count 1 of the indictment with murder in the first degree of Luke Hoyer, a first-degree felony punishable by up to death.
Defense attorneys agreed to waive the reading of all 34 charges of murder and attempted murder against Cruz for the massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. The judge then entered a not guilty plea on Cruz's behalf as defense attorneys renewed their offer to have Cruz accept responsibility for the deadly school shooting and plead guilty.
We would just like to advise the court and the state of Florida that at any time Mr. Cruz is willing to enter a plea of guilty on all 34 counts consecutively.
I'd never told anyone about this because I was scared of people laughing. But it's been on my mind. I saw this girl in Lagos, Portugal, and she did not seem happy. Very fake smile.
Animal sounds you probably wouldn't want to hear in the wild, part 2. Look, they ain't laughing because something's funny. That maniacal laugh is from a fresh kill or communication during a hunt. When their gang rolls deep, they could have up to 100 members, so just know that they'll all be on you like white on rice. So, just stay away and don't deliberately disobey me. Now that sound seems like it was straight out of a Jurassic Park film. Look, you don't want to encounter an elephant with an attitude. When Moto Moto here isn't showing off some breakdance moves, he just got hip tossed by this tusked behemoth. Lynx are not normally a threat to humans, but damn, did you hear that sound? Dude, straight out of a horror film. I could have easily mistaken that for the exorcism of Emily Rose. I'm gonna have holy water equipped at all times now.
So over the weekend, an anglerfish washed up on Newport Beach. This is insane, you guys. This never happens. A female deep-sea Pacific football fish, which is just one of the 300 species of anglerfish. Deep-sea fish rarely wash up onto shore, and the fact that this one was fully intact is weird. These guys live 3,000 to 6,000 feet below the surface, so scientists aren't really sure why this happened. California Department of Fish and Wildlife currently has it. It will most likely end up at some educational institution or museum. It's rare that we encounter these anglerfish, and the fact that it just washed up on shore is insane.
So for today's drink,
Alright, going random nodding. and it took us to this shady park in the middle, and I was like, trees. What the fuck? Oh, what the fuck?
The legend of La Sayona originated in Venezuela and tells the tale of a vengeful spirit who appears to men who have affairs. One night, a man who was obsessed with her lied to her and told her that her husband was having an affair with her own mother. Blind with anger, she burned down the house with her husband and baby inside and ran to her mother's house immediately after. She attacked her, and as her mother bled to death, she cursed her, telling her that she would now have to avenge women by killing their unfaithful husbands. The legend claims that when her spirit appears, she'll ask for a cigarette or for a ride home, and anyone who gives in to her temptation will suffer the consequences.
The Scariest Things Police Have Seen, Part 42. This story was sent to me by a police officer in California who wished to be anonymous. On June 17, 2002, an air tanker crashed near Walker, California, while on a firefighting mission. The crash was even caught on camera. An officer saw the crash and ran to it. While running through the forest, he came upon 3 men in flight suits who seemed dazed and confused. He asked them if they saw the crash, but they wouldn't respond to him. Since they weren't helpful, he continued on. When he got to the crash site, he found that all passengers on board were killed. There were 3 men on board that plane. The officer went back to where he saw the men in the forest, but he couldn't find them anywhere. No one else who responded to the crash site had seen them. The officer then realized that the 3 men he saw in the forest were the spirits of the crew members that died that day.
Okay, here are some of the most disturbing movies I've ever seen. Up first, we have The Human Centipede. This is not a recommendation. After their car breaks down, they look for help and they end up getting trapped in a basement. I watched this movie in high school and I was absolutely disgusted. I can't believe they made 2 more movies. Next, we have Hard Candy. It's about a photographer who meets a little girl online, but he messes with the wrong girl. Don't get me wrong, this is a good revenge movie, but there are certain scenes that you need a stomach for. It's overall pretty messed up. Next, we have a Serbian film. This is not a recommendation. Do not ever watch this movie. This takes the cake for being one of the most messed up movies I have ever seen. I regret ever knowing about this movie. And last but not least, The Skin I Live In. It's about a scientist who tries to synthesize the perfect skin. This one's actually a great movie, but the overall story is messed up. It really makes you question things. Unbelievable.